A tired blue Maruti Alto would stop exactly at the same spot on the old canal road. A man in a faded gray shirt would get out, open the back door, lift his 6-year-old daughter carefully onto the sidewalk, then walk 20 steps ahead and help the same woman climb onto the crowded local bus. He never spoke more than careful, baji in a low voice. She never looked directly at him. Used a small nod, sometimes the faintest touch of fingers on his wrist as thank you. For 347 mornings, this silent ritual continued. Nobody knew their names. Nobody knew why he did it. Nobody knew she was crying behind her dupatta every single time he turned away. Until the 348th morning. When she didn't let go of his hand. And in a voice so soft it could have been a whisper carried by the fog, she said. You once saved my life. The entire bus fell quiet. Even the conductor stopped shouting. And that ordinary single father, the one everyone called Cha-Cha-Chi behind his back, suddenly looked like a stranger to his own daughter. His name was Asif. 34 years old. They were for 4 years. Accountant in a small dining unit that paid him just enough to keep the electricity on and Zainab's school fees paid on the decima of every month without begging the principal again. Zainab was everything. 6 years old going on 60. She already knew how to make tea without burning the bottom of the pan, how to fold her father's shirt so the collar stayed crisp, and how to pretend she wasn't hungry when there were only 2 rotis left for dinner. Every morning Asif woke up at 5:15. Made parado for Zainab, even if it was just one and he ate dry bread. Braided her hair while she recited the ayats he taught her. Then drove the rattling Alto to the Canal Road bus stop because the school van was too expensive and the government bus was too unpredictable. And every morning, at exactly 6:47, he saw her. She always wore the same faded bottle green shalwar kameez. Always carried the same jute bag that had one broken strap repaired with blue sellotape. Always stood a little apart from the pushing crowd, like she was afraid of touching anyone. The first time Asif helped her was not even a choice. The bus had arrived early. The driver was in a hurry. She tried to climb, missed a step because of the heavy bag, and almost fell backward. Asif, who was holding Zainab's hand, instinctively caught the woman's elbow with his free hand. Careful, baji, he had said without thinking. She looked at him for half a second, really looked. Then quickly lowered her eyes and murmured Sukriya. Next morning she was there again. And the morning after that. And the morning after that. He never asked her name. She never offered it. But slowly, without words, a strange kind of understanding grew between them. When it rained, he started keeping an extra small umbrella in the car just for her. When Zainab once dropped her water bottle and it rolled under the bus tire, the woman bent down faster than anyone and picked it up, wiped it with her dupatta, and handed it back to the little girl with the gentlest smile Asif had ever seen. Zainab started calling her green baji in private. Asif smiled every time he heard it, but never corrected her. He didn't know why he kept helping her. Maybe because she reminded him of his late wife Aisha and the way she tried to disappear into the background. Maybe because some people just look like they already carried too much for one lifetime. Maybe because on the mornings when Zainab was cranky or feverish or simply missing her mother, helping this silent woman gave him a tiny reason to believe the world wasn't completely heartless. 347 mornings. He never missed a single one. Until the day the woman didn't climb the bus. She stood there, same green suit, same jute bag, same spot. But when Asif reached out his hand, she didn't take it. Instead she caught his wrist, gently, but firmly. Her fingers were trembling. And then she spoke the sentence that stopped time. You once saved my life. Asif froze. Zainab looked up at her father, confused. The bus driver honked twice, impatient. The woman didn't move. Her eyes filled with tears that didn't fall. I was going to jump, she whispered. 4 years ago. That bridge near the old textile mill. 3:20 in the morning. No one around. He had already climbed over the railing. She took a shaky breath. Then a car stopped. A blue car. A man got out with a little girl sleeping on his shoulder. Didn't they shout? Didn't they preach? Just sat down on the footpath beside me. Put the sleeping child between us like a soft wall. And for almost an hour he talked about nothing. About how his daughter likes to eat the burnt part of parrot. About how stray dogs remember kindness longer than people do. About how sometimes the hardest thing is not dying, but continuing to wake up the next morning anyway. She looked straight into us eyes for the first time in 347 days. I never forgot that man's face. He looked for him every morning after that. He wanted to say thank you. He wanted to tell him that because he stayed. He stayed. Her voice cracked. I didn't know it was you, until last month. When your daughter called me Green Baji, the same way you used to call your wife, Green, in your sleep when you were talking to her on the phone that night. Asif felt the world tilt. He remembered that night. He remembered stopping the car because he couldn't drive anymore through the tears. He remembered a woman sitting on the railing in the dark. He remembered being too broken to give advice, so he just talked. He never thought she would remember. He never thought anyone would remember. Zainab tugged his shirt. Abba. Green Bahi is crying. Asif looked down at his daughter, then back at the woman whose name he still didn't know. He swallowed hard. Then, very slowly, he turned his hands so their palms met properly. This time he didn't say careful. This time he said the only thing that felt true. Thank you, for staying. The bus left without them. For the first time in 347 mornings, no one climbed the steps. They just stood there, three people connected by the thinnest, strongest thread of all. The decision to wake up one more day. And somewhere in the early morning light, on a dusty canal road in a small city that never notices its quiet heroes. A single father, a little girl, and a woman who chose life. Finally learned each other's names. Sometimes the smallest kindness you give without expecting anything becomes the exact reason someone else finds the courage to keep breathing. So the next time you think your ordinary morning doesn't matter, remember this. You never know who is watching. You never know who is remembering. You never know whose life you are quietly, unknowingly, saving. Used by showing up. Used by staying. Used by being kind anyway.